everybody, High Vibe Oracle here, and welcome to another pick a card reading for you guys. We're looking at what makes you stand out. What do people see that you may not see in yourself? So as we're looking into what makes you stand out from the crowd, we've got three groups here. Group one is the Dark Heart Tarot and the Mahogany Obsidian. Group two is the Pastel Journey Tarot deck and the Tiger's Eye. And then for group three, we have Tarot of the Divine and Cherry Blossom Agate. So go ahead, pause if you need to. Pick whichever deck resonates the most with you, and then go ahead and click down in the description box below. I'll have the time stamps for each group here as we get into it. But for right now, let's start with group one. Hey, what's up, group one? You guys chose Dark Heart Tarot and the Mahogany Obsidian. So let's just go ahead and get into it. We're going to go and see just what is it about you that makes you stand out? What do people see in you that you may not really see in yourself? This is a bit of a mood boosting, ego boosting, perhaps, reading, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of just take a look and see what really makes you stand out to others. No, okay. I'll say, do these count now? So I'm just gonna give these a good old shuffle. That one came out first. So first thing that makes you stand out, you are someone who likes to live loud. It's a very jovial energy, very celebratory. I feel like when people do well, you celebrate them with the same sort of joy that you would celebrate your own victories. It's very much a all for one for all attitude with you. The Three of Cups talks a lot about community and celebration. I feel like you're someone who makes friends easily, someone who is like very much of a team player and not a sore loser. I feel like if someone is in competition with you and you end up losing said competition, you're not that salty. In fact, you're like, dude, congratulations, that was killer. That was super fun. And you're like a great opponent and you're just very, very just nice and jovial and sweet. With the Four of Crystals, I do see here that it feels almost like you always have someone on your side. I feel like there is some luck involved. This is still more of a celebratory type of thing, but with this, I feel like you have a divine sort of support that is visible. Like people kind of think that you were born lucky, that you like things that you go for normally turn out well, that when you decide to do something, you actually get a very easy outpouring of support. I feel like you're the kind of person that people want to root for with the Four of Wands. And you also seem like someone who is very, very stable and grounded in their thinking. With the Four of Crystals being like a support structure, I feel like your ideas, the things that you're passionate about, are things that people kind of naturally gravitate toward. So if you do something with like community work, or if you do something within like service or something artistic, I feel like whatever it is that you do, people readily are behind you and on your side, which I think is beautiful. We also have the Six of Blades, and that's telling me that you have gone through quite a bit. I feel like with the Six of Blades, people kind of get this idea that you've really come into your own and that you have been through a lot. I feel like some people have seen the growth that you have gone through, that you've underwent, that there's been a lot that has weighed on you in the past. And I feel like you've never taken that for granted. It's telling me that you're very wise as well. So, like when people come to you for advice, not with advice, when people come to you for advice, they're very aware that the advice that you give them is coming from experience. That, like, if it's something that you say, hey, I don't have much experience on this, but they do listen to you, but then they also know when it's something that you have experienced and your advice is normally spot on. What I also see here with the Five of Pentacles is that there's so much, like, there's such a supportive situation here. You aren't the kind of person to shut away people in need. You are the kind of person with as much support as you give other, like, as people give you, you give to other people. You don't like to see someone doing poorly. You don't like to see someone suffering when you can do something about it, that you can do something to help, whether it is a large or a small thing. I feel like with this Five of Pentacles, you are always in this mindset of, at any moment, that could be me. And what would I want someone else to do if I was in their shoes? And that's kind of how you operate through life. I feel like that's what people kind of notice, is that you really are an empathetic type of soul, that you are someone who really takes the time to make sure that your fellow man is okay and that they have all that they need, in whatever form that is. So very much supportive, very much like you are not alone. If you need help, I am only a phone call away. I do have that coming in pretty strong with the Five of Pentacles. The Six of Cups is telling me that you have a very beautiful childlike side to you, that you're very, very playful, and that you never really got rid of that inner child, that you've never ignored it, that you've always kind of kept in contact with the things that made you happy as a kid, and that you always kind of bring that childish spirit and those fresh eyes to anything that you do, which is lovely, really, because I feel like there's such a like emphasis on growing up and being mature. And, you know, sometimes it's okay to not be mature. Sometimes it's okay to be a kid, you know, to do silly things and try out different things and to view life as an adventure. And I feel like they notice that about you, that they notice that, like, your life is a series of, okay, what's something new that I can do? What's an adventure I haven't been on before? You know, where's the next cliff I can jump off of? Where's the next hill I can roll down? And just like enjoy the small and the simple things in life, because that really is what makes life worth living. So that's definitely what people see about you. That's definitely what makes you stand out. And the Three of Blades lets me know that you are someone who really will put themselves out for someone else. And I'm seeing this as both a good thing and a bad thing. I see that you're definitely willing to drop things for other people. I think people see that and they admire that. I also see people, when they see it, they worry as well. I feel like you do gather worry about you because you are very selfless and you're very open and you're honest and you're loving, but there is this sense of make sure you take care of yourself. People want you to take care of yourself, and so they see what you do and they see how you pour yourself into other people. And I think that's why you have so much support here in the Four of Crystals, because you are someone who is going to, you know, do whatever they can to help someone, even if it does end up hurting you short term in whatever way that is. You're just a really sweet person, and you're just very loving, very amiable, very affable, and just so sweet and charitable and selfless that some people think that like they worry that you might get taken advantage of. That's all I can say. They worry that you may be taken advantage of when, you know, you put yourself out there to help those in need. So like I feel like you do have a very good friend circle, like a friend base or a tribe that tries to make sure that you're not absolutely wasting yourself trying to take care of other people. There it is. Don't burn yourself out in one sprint. Life is a marathon. So, this is definitely a reminder for you right now that people really, when they see you, they really want you to take your time. The universe sees what you're doing. They love you for the kind of person that you are. They also worry that you may give yourself, you know, not enough love and that you might burn yourself out so others can stay warm. So just remember to take your time. Don't feel as if you have to sprint and run toward everything. Don't feel like you have a time frame for everything that's happening around you. Things will happen when it's supposed to. I'm hearing that divine timing is everything here. What other messages do you have for our selfless group one? What other messages do you have for group one? Nope. What messages do you have for group one? This one. You are electrifying. Okay. Allow your talents to do the talking. You have so many talents. This is telling me that people can see just how talented you are too. Like, I feel like anything that you apply yourself to, you end up excelling at very, very easily. I think because of that, that's also why you're being told that life is a marathon. Like, you don't have to master everything. I also feel like you may be the type to get frustrated easily when something doesn't go how you want it. When you do something and it's not how you want, you are very hard on yourself, which probably comes back into that Three of Blades as well. Just being harsh on yourself and just being angry because you have a vision for what you want to do. And not all the time does it actually pan out the way that you want it. So allow your talent to do the talking. Know that you are more than capable of doing anything that you want. I'm trying to remember that Bob Ross quote, and I know I'm going to get it wrong, so forgive me. But basically, is like talent is an applied skill. Like if you practice it, if you want to do it, if you continue to do it, you'll be able to do it well. And I know I am paraphrasing. I am paraphrasing my man Bob Ross right now, but you get the idea. Like take your time. If it's something that you really love to do, it's not going to take you long to learn it, to grow, and to master what you want to master. It's it's a struggle, but know that you are a very gifted individual, and it is something that is evident. Like people see that in you, that anything that you touch, you end up being super, super great at. Super, super great at. So, what other messages? Third eye activation. I also see what stands out about you is that you are very intuitive. You have a very clear focus and you kind of see through BS very well. You see through BS very, very well. People know not to mess with you because you're very, very good at discerning who is being upfront with you and who isn't. And you're not afraid to say it either. You're like, okay, right? Like this person might be genuine, but this guy is definitely trying to pull a fast one. Like you're very good at figuring that out. And it definitely, what I'm hearing here is lean into that. Lean into that. You're given that skill, you're given that gift, you're given that sight for a reason, and it is going to help you in the long run. It's going to help you from hurting yourself trying to help everyone because you know who's truly in need of help. You know who really is just trying to get something over on somebody because they feel that they can play toward your sweetness and your delicate heart, and that's not cool. We don't like that. We don't like that for you. Let's see, let's get one last card and then we're gonna wrap this up for you guys. One last thing. What makes group one stand out from the crowd? What makes group one stand out from the crowd? This one? Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, no wrong path. So, what this card is telling me is that you have been, for quite some time, very adamant on where you are going in your life. I feel like you've had an idea. If it hasn't been set in stone, I feel like you've had an idea of where your life is going and what you want to do with it for some time. I feel like for a lot of you, it is finally starting to coalesce into like a sensible path. Like you're starting to truly, truly see this path before you. Know that you are not incorrect. Know that however you want to get there, you're going to get there. I feel like the paths are being cleared. I also feel like when you reach a crossroads, when you're looking at several different options, that's when you really need to just kind of listen to yourself. There is no wrong path for you to go. Because you already know where to go. Even if you're looking at two different directions, you know that both directions are going to lead to the same place. It really does depend on how you're going to feel when you get there. And I think I've said that before in an earlier reading, but I want you guys to keep that in mind, that you're on your path, that you know exactly what you're doing, and that anytime you hit a crossroads and you're not sure where to go, understand that there is no wrong path. All you have to do is be quiet, listen to yourself, because you have the intuition. You have tons of intuition. You will find yourself in the right place. Okay. So this is your reading. This is what makes you stand out. These are some message and some other messages on top of that for you guys. I hope this resonated with you guys. I really, really hope it does. If it did, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I'm going to go to group 2. But until then, thank you guys so much for spending this time with me and take care of yourselves. Hey, group 2, what's going on? You guys chose the Pastel Journey Tarot deck and the Tiger's Eye. Like I said, we're just going to check to see what makes you stand out, what people see in you that maybe you don't see in yourself. Just a little bit of a confidence boost, a little bit of an ego boost, perhaps. Something that I just thought would be fun to do with the collective. Just give the fam a little bit of a little bump up here. So I'm just going to go ahead, take a look through the cards and see just what is it about you that makes you different, that makes you stand out in the crowd. What do people notice about you when they see you, when they get to know you? See, we'll start with that card, apparently. First card, wow, High Priestess. You have some secrecy to you. Look at you being mysterious. You are someone that people kind of innately know that you know your stuff, that there are things to you that you really don't let other people know about. You may be a little quiet, a little retreating, but whenever that you're actually asked something, I also feel that you're very ready with the answer. I feel like people very much respect when you have something to say, because they know that there's wisdom behind it as well. So there's quite a bit of gravitas, I feel, that comes through in the High Priestess. And I just hear that line, like, all right, wizard, keep your secrets. Like, that's all I hear right now. Like, it's a very mysterious and secretive aura. And I really don't think you're doing it on purpose. I just feel like that's just the way you are. Unless you're asked something, you really don't say much at all. And people just decide that, oh, wow, she's so elusive. They're so secret. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The Wheel of Fortune. I do see that this feels like Lucky Girl syndrome. The Wheel of Fortune lets me know that when people see you, they kind of see things always somehow coming up like in your favor. I almost said coming up Millhouse, and I was like, does everybody know that line? Like, everything's coming up Millhouse. That's what I see here with the Wheel of Fortune. There's this sense of when you throw something out there. This reminds me of my mom. Okay, let me explain. So, my mom will like go to the store randomly, grab like a couple of scratch offs and like win in every single one. Like, I don't know how she does it. I don't like I don't know she keeps her secrets. I don't know what it is. But like, she'll just go and she'll like, I spent like $10 on scratch offs and I got back 50, and you're like, what? That's silly. That's that is the aura that I get from you. That things just kind of happen to you in like the best possible way. Like, you go somewhere and someone likes your vibe and suddenly you're getting free stuff. And it's just because of the air that you exude. Like, you really just do have the fates are just kind of sitting there by your side going, yeah, this one's a good one. Treat them well. And people are like, yes, ma'ams, we are going to do just that. I do get that feeling in the Wheel of Fortune, and I think that's amazing. Like, I feel like that only adds to your like your mystery, your aura. Like, things just happen strangely well for you, and it's not like you're doing anything on purpose. It's just like That's just the way it's kind of always been for you. Let's see. What else do we need to know about this? Yeah, I feel like luck is very much on your side. And I feel like if it hasn't been for some time, it is definitely due for a revamp. It's time to spin that wheel one more time because things are definitely looking up for you as far as your personality. Like, I feel like you might not even think that things are that lucky for you, but people just seem to see, they only seem to see you when things go well. And they're like, oh my God, things are always going so well for this person. What are they doing? How do they do it? Like, what kind of magic, what kind of magic are they expounding into the world? The Five of Wands is telling me that you're a very competitive soul, that when you play to win. I do get this feeling that people are always trying to catch up with you. Um, your aura is never bad. Like, it's never like a bad competition. You're very fierce in competition, but it's always friendly. It is always friendly competition. And I also feel like you are a good sport after. You're a good sport before the game. You're a good sport after the game. But during the game, ooh boy, watch out. Watch out because you are ruthless. You really do put your all into everything. And with this Wheel of Fortune card as well, I feel like you do win often. I feel like you are only like, you are competitive. You play to win. You are gracious when you lose, but you're also thankfully gracious when you win. But like, it's the act of winning. The act of winning is like you are a machine. You are single minded in your, I gotta get in here and I gotta make it worthwhile. I gotta show these people what's up, that like I am the champion, that I am the GOAT, and no one else is going to be able to claim that title. I see that with the Five of Wands. Like, you're a bit ruthless. You go hard in competition, whether it's like sports or at work or at school. You're very, very into it. And if you're like in a team setting, it's very much like you're holding up your end of the bargain and you're doing your part in the team, and you expect everybody else to be doing the same, giving 100, 110, 115%, just all the percents. Let's see what other things make group 2 stand out from the crowd. What makes group 2 stand out? This one. Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands tells me that you are very joyful and very ambitious. Like, I'm seeing, and the reason I'm saying joyful is because I see the sunflower here, and the sunflower is a flower that represents joy and happiness. And you really are like, even like you're looking up, like it's a very optimistic aura that I get from the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is someone who is very ambitious, is very magical in nature, someone who is very magnetic as well. So I feel like that also goes into play with the Wheel of Fortune. I also just see, just with the Queen of Wands, you are someone who is very expressive and outgoing. Even if you do keep your secrets, you have this very strange dichotomy of being open and very closed at the same time. And it's not something that you're doing on purpose. It's just the way you just present. Like, you present very friendly, but then like people, like they'll learn something new about you, and they're like, I've known you for like 10 years. How come I've never known this about you? And you're like, well, no one's ever asked. I get that. I get that here from these two cards that you're very open, very, very happy, very joyous, and like a very warm personality. But you also do very much keep your secrets. And like you really do have this gravitas that comes from like when it is something that you know, it is definitely something that everybody kind of like shuts up and listens to. And so I do see that dichotomy as well for you guys. What else makes you stand out from the crowd? No, everyone chill. What else helps you stand out from the crowd? Four of Pentacles. That is funny because there's so many things happening for you. And yet I do see that people do see this frugal side of you. That they see that like you're always getting stuff for free and you're like, that's good because I'm not trying to spend that much money. You're very selective of who you give your energy to as well. I feel like as open as you are, there aren't many true friends that you really give your time and your effort to. So like I see you just kind of holding on to several things, not just like a monetary perspective, but also just like your light and your energy and your time and your effort. You know, like there are many acquaintances and few friends. And I feel like people see that. People see that you have a lot of people around you, but you really do have just like a special, like small group that you truly do like let loose with. So, like, you're very duplicitous. You're very duplicitous. You have this side to you and you have this side to you, and it works in harmony. It clearly works in harmony. People see it and people see that it's genuine, but it's also like some people look at it and they go, how does one even juggle being both of these people when for you it's just the way you've always been? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm seeing here. You're very, very selective about who gets your attention, who truly gets like the best parts of you, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to have that level of discernment because not everybody is worth your attention. Like, I'm going to be real honest. Not everybody's worth your attention. Not everybody's worth all of your effort. And being able to just kind of keep a close group of friends that you can really confide and tell everything to is very, very, very good. It's a very nice thing to have, honestly. Okay, what other things make you stand out from the crowd? Group two. It's group two. You guys are really like you guys are both very open and very shut, and I really do like this dichotomy a lot. So what else? Like, you guys are pretty complex, I feel. It's a lot of complexity. It doesn't feel like it for you because like it's always been who you were. So it's not going to feel like it's anything different for you. But for other people, like you are a mystery and an enigma wrapped up in a puzzle. That's not it's not how the quote goes, is it? I got it backwards or mixed up somewhere. But that's fine, you guys. You guys know what I'm saying. And that's all I need. The Tower. I was just talking about people being very like discerning with who you share your energy with. I feel like with the tower, you do make people work for it. In a real like in a real way, this tower actually is telling me, because I'm just looking at the art of the tower here, is that you really do value alone time. You really do value having a moment to yourself. Because you have all these things that are happening around you. You have this beautiful personality and you have this wonderful level of discernment. I feel like you have a close circle of friends and then a very large outside group of acquaintances. But really, you do have these moments where all you want is to be left alone. And I see that with the tower, it does feel like for many people, when they first see you, they see the boundaries that you've thrown up. They see that, like, you have to, like, in order to get to a certain level of friendship, you have to, like, pass these bars. In order to know something about you, you had to be, like, this level of friendship to unlock this memory. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm seeing here, that there's a lot happening with you that you don't let people see, because what you do honestly is once everyone is gone, you're like, oh, thank God, and then you like lock the door. You like lock the door and you just kind of keep to yourself. So many of you could be omniverts. So you're like, is it omniverts or ambiverts? I think it's ambiverts. Ah, the English language, man, I'm telling ya. I think you guys might be ambiverts. Like a little, like, because everyone is somewhere in the introverted, extroverted spectrum. Why are words so difficult for me right now? Um, because I feel like as time has gone by, I've become more introverted with age. And I realize that it really is because it depends on who I'm talking to. So I feel like if there was any group that I would be part of, it would just really be for like this three right here and a bit of the competitive part. But I feel like you are someone who seems very outgoing when you're out there, but oof, you do value your alone time. And people seem to see how comfortable you are in both situations. Like, I feel like they've seen someone try to sneak in on you on your alone time and get like glared away. So people know that you are a person who really does walk that line between very open, very extroverted, and then like very like introverted. Look, I just need this moment to just decompress and recharge because I can't deal anymore and it's too much noise and I just need the silence. So I do see that happening. I do see that as something that really does make you stand out from the crowd here. So we're just gonna go ahead and grab some oracle cards and see what else the universe has to say about what makes you stand out. What do people notice about you? You know, what would a stranger be told about you? If they're like, hey, I want to know about that person. You seem to be close to that person. What would you say that person is like? So that is what we are getting down to the nitty gritty of right now. Everything serves a purpose. Give thanks to your body. Okay. So I feel like nothing that you do is without a purpose. I feel like with this, you have a way of doing things very deliberately. And even if it wasn't done deliberately, it ends up kind of looking like that at the end. I feel like it is something where you were kind of spitballing something, and then turns out the spitball was actually like a good idea, and it ends up becoming something that almost seemed like serendipitously planned. So, even when you're not planning on doing something on purpose, everything that you do serves a purpose for your path, serves a purpose for your life. Um, this is definitely telling me that you may need to do a little bit more self care, because you may be neglecting bits of your body. So give thanks to your body. Make sure that make sure you're hydrating. Hydrate, man. Get some rest. Just take good care of this vessel that's carrying your soul around, because you only get one of them. You know what I mean? We don't get to transplant. We're not there yet in technology where we get to like transplant from one vessel to the other. So, give thanks and be very, very kind to yourself, to your physical self, as well as your emotional and mental self. See what other cards they have for us here. That one. Your bold side. Make the first move. Okay. So this one is telling me that sometimes I feel like you're the kind of person who waits for other people to talk to you, which makes a lot of sense. Getting the High Priestess first is very much a receiving card. So is the Queen of Wands. It's very feminine, receiving energy. Sometimes it's okay to be the one that says hi first. You don't have to throw the walls up for everyone. I feel like you don't have to body check people as soon as they come into the door. But, just don't be afraid to look up and to smile and say hello and to keep going. If the vibes aren't right, you'll know that the vibes aren't right. But don't be afraid to branch out. I feel like there are more people who are deserving of your time, more people who are deserving of your energy, and they may be just like you, the kind of person who doesn't talk until they're spoken to first. It's okay to be the first one to talk. It's okay to be the person that initiates conversation, or just is just the first friendly voice that comes out during the conversation, because you are bolder and more charismatic, more charismatic than you let yourself believe. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Arcturian light codes, evolutionary download, free calling power, future thinking. So the light codes here are telling me that you're someone, especially when it's talking about serving a purpose, everything that you do has the future in mind. I feel like you're constantly worried about the future as well. I'm getting this feeling of, you want to be secure, and you're wanting to be you want to kind of move toward the future almost effortlessly. So you put all your worries about the future into today. And I mean, future planning is good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm also saying that maybe you shouldn't worry so much. Maybe you shouldn't worry so much. I feel like it's going to be fine, because everything that you're doing here is going to pay off in the future. And so just know that, like, if you're getting these downloads, that you're literally actively co-creating right now with the universe. You don't even realize that you're doing it most of the time. And that everything that you're doing now is going to have a purpose later on. Everything that you're doing now is going to end up becoming something incredible further down the line. And basically, don't sweat it. Live life, enjoy the present moment, focus on the present moment, And I mean, the future is going to be here before you even realize. And then you're going to realize that there was nothing to worry about because your future was already going to be awesome. I'm literally looking at the Wheel of Fortune here, kind of sitting here all proud. Like, dude, you're completely fine. Everything is going to work out for you here. Like, the only way I could have been more sure of this is if we got the Sun card while we were pulling tarot. But you are absolutely 100% secure here. You just gotta learn how to live for the moment, how to live for the present, and just kind of be present for your life instead of worrying about what's going on later on. And then Earth Star activation, grounded action, Isis energy. I'm being told that you are definitely someone who is very like when we're talking about grounded, I'm being told that you may need to ground yourself a little bit more because of that future thinking and all of that worry about the future. You actually have a very strong base. You have a very, very strong base, but I feel like it has been a while since you have touched down. You've been up here. It's been a while since you touched down. And so I'm being told here that it's okay to stop. It's okay to breathe. It's okay to be aware that the present moment is here and that's where you need to be. And just close your eyes and like sit with nature. Or if you've got like a favorite grounding meditation, I happen to have one myself. And that you just, it takes like 5 minutes out of your day to just kind of touch base with yourself and to center and to ground yourself, to keep yourself from flying off, because when you've got those worries you can fly off very, very easily, and there's no need for you, my lucky blessed child, to be worried. I'm literally hearing you are like divinely blessed. You have nothing to worry about. Like lucky girl syndrome just keeps on playing in my head. Like you got lucky girl syndrome. Like you're totally fine. Just chill. Just chill, bruh. Like you've got this. Like if you've chosen this deck, I want you to know that there is no way that you're going to be steered wrong here. That all you really need to do is just have fun, focus on the present, and just live your life. Live life joyfully, live life with gratitude. And these blessings, these things that happen to you are going to keep happening. Like that's just something that has been in the cards for you since the beginning. And so it's just about breathing and being centered and being in contact with yourself and being in contact with the present moment. And that is our that is our reading for today. So if you're here in group 2, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys taking the divine time to spend with me and figure out and see exactly what makes you stand out. What do people see when they look at you? What kind of aura do you expound when you walk by? What kind of aura do you exude? So I hope that this resonated with you. If it did, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I am going to go to group 3, but thank you guys so much for being here with me, and into my next reading, take care of yourselves. Hey group 3, what's going on? This is your reading. You guys chose the Tarot of the Divine and the Cherry Blossom Agates. So we're just going to go ahead and take a look and see what makes you stand out. What do people see when they look at you that you may not see in yourself? Just a little bit of a confidence boost. Trying to go ahead and give my fam a boost this weekend. So we're doing it. So that's what we're looking into. What makes you stand out? What is it that people see in you that you may not see in yourself? So let's be surprised today. Let's see some good stuff. Let's see what's going on. Group 1 and Group 2 have been very, very interesting. I imagine you guys in Group 3 will be much the same. So let's go ahead and get started. The Three of Wands. So I feel like this makes you guys feel very adventurous. The Three of Wands is always about like travel and expansion. I always see that things are coming to you. With the Three of Wands in the original Rider-Waite one, I say original, but it's really not original. But in the Rider-Waite tarot deck, like I see like the ships coming towards you. You are someone who shines very, very brightly. I feel like you have a very impressive aura to you. And like you see like there's this level of like perseverance in the Three of Wands that I think people kind of get from you. Like you are definitely a fighter. You are someone who they kind of see like always trying to do better, always trying to go farther, go faster, and really kind of achieve as much as you possibly can achieve with the Three of Wands here. So I feel like that really does make you stand out, like in a space where everyone else would give up on doing something because it seems impossible. You're sitting here going, no, 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 not a thing. As Audrey Hepburn says, there's no such thing as impossible. Even the word itself says, I'm possible. So that is definitely your mode of thinking. If you've picked Group 3, you're not a kind of person that gives up on things easily. The 10 of Coins tells me that you're very family oriented as well. You may come from a big family, or you may have this sense of people who you bring into your life become your family. You're very, very sweet and very caring. I also feel like if you work with kids, you're the kind of person who's very, very nurturing and sweet to them. The 10 of Coins is something where I see like you like to create things that last as well. I really do see this idea of they're just like everyone around you is treated like family. I feel like it's a very open hearted aura from the 10 of Coins. You're very, very open and very sweet. And like anybody that you meet twice, they automatically are part of the family. It's like a rule in my house. Like I'll show you where everything is in the house the first time, but the second time you already live here. You already know where everything is. Do you want something to drink? You know where the fridge is. You know that the water is in the drawer. Open the drawer and grab a bottle of water. It's fine. No need to ask because you're one of us now. That is the aura. That is the energy that I get from the 10 of Coins. So like, and I also feel like with the Three of Wands as well, like not only are you doing things for yourself, you're doing things for the people around you as well. So it's a really, really sweet and kind of selfless type of aura, like all for one and one for all. Let's see. Ace of Swords. I was just talking about like not giving up. Ace of Swords, you don't like to fool around. The Ace of Swords is telling me that you get right to the point. You're very clear and concise. You don't like lollygagging. You really aren't a fan of reading between the lines. You're like, the lines are there for a reason. And so you're very honest. You're very, very honest, and you don't tolerate BS. You're very much like, I'm going to come to you with as much honesty and clarity as I can. I expect the same thing. And I feel like are being when people are being facetious toward you, you immediately call them out on it. Like you have no patience for it. You absolutely have no patience for it. And I think it's a little intimidating actually when people come to you because they're so used to, having that wiggle room, having that gray area, and you're like, no, no, I'm going to be honest with you because, I read Hamlet once and they were like, to thine own self be true. And I was like, all right, so be real with yourself and others. Got it. 10 out of 10. Speaking of which, speaking of not taking any mess from anybody, the Queen of Swords. So the fun part is when I look at the Queen of Swords, you are someone who is very, very open to listen, but you're not afraid to hand down judgment. So I feel like you are a pretty decent mediator, actually, with the Queen of Swords here, because I'm just seeing like you have the sword up and you're listening to this person as they're talking, and like you'll make your decision when you have the full picture, but you are someone who wants to get the full picture first before they make those decisions. Because, sometimes when you're making those decisions, you want to make sure that you're as informed as possible because you are the kind of person who wants to be as honest and clear and correct, honestly, as you can. So it translates into this, okay, speak. Speak now, and then I will decide how I'm going to deal with the situation. And I feel like with everything that you do, you're very much that type of person. Like, all right, well, I mean, we're here now, so I'm going to give you your time. You have your time now to speak and explain to me exactly what's going on here. And if I find that you're full of mess, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it if I figure out that you're just kind of full of crud. That is very much the kind of person that you are. You don't like to mince words and you don't like to be messed with at all. And people see that about you. People know that when they come to you, they best step correct. They best step correct because it is not a good time if you feel that they're just kind of messing with you and honestly wasting your time. Because you don't have time. You've got stuff to do. You've got other things to do. I feel like you're a very busy person as well. So that's why like being honest and just being forthright in the beginning is very, very important. With the Devil card, I do see here that it seems like you have a little bit of a temper. I do see there's a little bit of a temper here. I feel like it's never unwarranted, but I do feel like it seems to flare up in very easy ways. So people aren't going to see what's really happening in like in the real world, like whatever is going on that's like causing you to have this attitude. They're not even going to see that. They're really just going to see the fire coming out of your mouth, like the fire that you're breathing. And they're like, ooh, boy, wow, she got pissed. Like they got pissed real fast. Like, what's up with them? And it's really not something that is fully on the outside either. I feel like for you, a lot of it gets in your head. You have this thing where after a while, things really get to you. After a while, things really, really get to you. And it's because you're the kind of person who's so honest and you're so hardworking. And like if someone is just trying to pull a fast one and they're continuously trying to pull a fast one, and like you're just like, stop. You're just like, stop. And everyone's like, wow, why is he going crazy? Why is she going crazy? What's up with them? Why are they being so weird? And they don't realize that like it's just because it's just an inclination. you do have an inclination of just kind of going off the rails some, which, I mean, it's something that can be tempered. And I feel like it's something that you do your best to temper. But it is something that happens, regardless. It needs to be addressed in that way. So that is something that people knows about you, that you are definitely not one to be tried, because you do have a temper about you, and it will flare up, and sometimes it flares up so easily that it almost is like, oh, they're just ornery, and that may not even be the case. It could just be like the straw that broke the camel's back, but because no one has seen all the other straws, they're just like, oh my god, this person is just so volatile, and it's like, that's not true. That's not the case at all. And the people who know you're like, no. If you knew what was up, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's valid. Oh yeah, that's valid. That's super valid. Okay. One fell down. So oh my god, everything's falling. Okay. All right, hold on. Telling you, man. My cards. Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups tells me that despite all of this, you're actually quite sweet. You're actually quite sweet and have a bit of a playful side to you. But it is something that I feel that, like, when they realize that, they're kind of surprised by it. Like, you are the surprise in the Page of Cups, because people know you as someone who's so very serious, and like you're always persevering, you're always fighting, you're always doing this. You're someone who they kind of come to for the final say because they know that you're not going to BS them. And then when you show this kind of kiddish side, it really does kind of throw people for a loop, and they're just not expecting it. It's a pleasant surprise, obviously. Like, people who get to know that side of you really do start to open themselves up to see just how wonderful of a person that you are, and how undeserving you are of all the BS that I feel comes your way. I feel like you have to deal with a lot. And until they get to know you, they don't realize just how much you're dealing with. I feel like that's what's happening. Like, they see you dealing with a lot, but they don't realize just how much of it that you're actually going through. And so when they do, when they finally get to the core of you, and they're like, good Lord, like, don't you have a support system? You're like, yeah, I do. Well, can't they help? I mean, they do, but like, I gotta get this done on my own. I feel like the Three of Wands is telling me that, like, that's what that is. It's like you're getting things done on your own. Not because you don't trust your family, not because you don't trust the community around you, but it's just something that you've always done. And so I feel like that's also how you gain your family as well, because they're all just trying to help you. They're all just trying to help you at this point. They're like, good God, could you just, for 5 seconds, just like drop it and let me pick this up for you for the next like 200 yards? Like, good Lord, can you stop carrying everything by yourself? Yeah, nope. I got this. So I do feel like that is the last thing in the tarot cards they have to say about you. It's just like, it's okay. Like, when people get to know you, they realize that you're actually a friggin' delight, but it's just, you're so sincere that it throws people off, because like, you have no time. You have no time to be delicate with people's senses. Like, you can take it or leave it. When they know you, they know that you're great. But like, if people just kind of like look at you from the front, they're like, ooh, she's so severe. And it's a little intimidating. You're intimidating. But like, it's not something, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. It's just a way of life. It's just how you are. It's not like you're doing anything weird. It's just that you're intimidating because you are so determined and so honest, and so expectant of others to be as like full of integrity as you are. You're very full of, there is an integrity to you that I see in these cards that really cannot be matched. And it just upsets you when you present that to the world and it's not reciprocated. Which is, I mean, that's fair. That's more than fair. Flower Hat Jelly says your routine matters. Are you content with it? You're definitely someone who has you have a routine. You have a system. You have a system and you stick to it. It is telling me though that you may want to relook at your system. Like, what are things that you are doing currently that you don't need to do anymore? You might be actually, because of all of this, what could be happening is that you could be putting too much on yourself. That, like, you don't even need other people to, like, fix for you. It's just like you're doing stuff actually that you never had to do before, or things that you had to do before, but you don't have to do it anymore because that's done and you can like let it go. And it's just learning how to let certain things go. So don't get stuck. Don't get stuck into a routine that no longer works for you. It's okay to reassess. It is absolutely okay to reassess. You have the logic in place here to make those decisions and cut away at things you no longer need. And you'll probably find that things will move very, very smoothly for you afterwards. So definitely something to keep in mind. Just a helpful hint from the universe today for my lovely, lovely group 3. I love how each group has been like very, very different. I'm very excited about this. What other messages do these particular cards have for us? This one. Your inner world is safe. Embracing all your emotions to create a state of flow. If you're worried about your temper, know that being worried about it or being like feeling abrasive when it comes to your anger is only going to make it worse. I feel like if you're feeling that way, stamping it down is not going to help, but just kind of being one with it. And just, you're a very emotive person. I feel like that needs to be said. Like, you're a very emotive person. You're a very emotional person. You are honest. I almost want to say to a fault. Like you wear your heart on your sleeve. You don't exactly have a poker face. You don't exactly have a poker face. You know what I mean? So it's okay to sit with that emotion. Like, don't just be upset and try to stamp it down and then try to stamp it down till it explodes. Because that's where everybody gets said like, oh God, oh God, that's so scary. And that's not it. I feel like what we're being told here is if you're worried about the way you explode at people, I think what you may need to do is kind of sit by yourself and really kind of feel through your emotions, figure out why you're feeling that way and work through them that way. That is going to help when it comes to, tempering your emotions and making sure that you don't kind of fly off the handle. If you feel as if that's a problem that you have, that you fly off the handle when you're dealing with people because they're just not, chill. It's just not, they're not chill and they're not like being honest with you and you feel like you're the only person who's actually getting anything done. You know what I mean? Like that kind of situation. It's okay to feel that way, but you really have to process that feeling before it, because if you can process that feeling and then address it calmly instead of not addressing that feeling, and then when you confront everybody about it, it's super loud, then no big deal. So we're going to go ahead and get some more cards. One of them is Ancestral Realm. Boundaries, karmic release, healing the lineage. Oh, wow. I like this one a lot. So this one is definitely telling me here that You are someone who has, like, you've been through a lot here. Like, I don't need to tell you that. Like, you've been fight all your life. You had to fight. I think the line is, and you've been working very hard to kind of release yourself from this cycle. And like, you're doing it. Like, you're actually doing it. You're actually making it happen. Like you're succeeding in ways that I don't think you're even aware of right now. So I do want you to know that, like, that what you're doing is working, that you are so much better off than you have been, that you should be proud of yourself for how far that you've come. Because I mean, your guys are super proud of you. Like, I just heard, like, we are so proud of how far you've come. And I feel like you need to kind of recognize how far you've come from where you were before, because I don't think you do. And that's not fair to you. That's not fair to you at all. I feel like you really need to be more aware and proud of your accomplishments and how much that you've done. Let's get some more cards. Ah, snap. Stellar Gateway Activation. Infinite Potential Manifestation Vortex. So, because of how much you are a fighter, because of how much you really do kind of persevere and work and work and toil and just, put your all into it, you are able to do anything. Like, this Stellar Gateway Activation actually reminds me of the Magician card. So I want you to know right now that you are a manifester. You are a master manifester, because you know how to see a goal, find your way to the goal. You know how to get there. You know what needs to happen. You know when to push yourself to move from one place to the other. I want you to know that at this point, you have the full backing of the universe on your side. So, what is it that you want to do with your life right now? Make a plan. Like, release it down with yourself and, like, journal it out. Write it. Like, what does your life look like in 5 years? What are the things you want to accomplish? Write down a journal entry as if it's 5 years later and you've got all these things happening. And then, put that into the universe and watch your life start moving in that direction, because that's where you are currently in your life, because you have done so much, because you're just able. You're just able to do it. And it's something that I feel like anyone can see, that, like, you can do whatever you set your mind to. But right now, you're just being asked, what is it that you're setting your mind up to do? Okay? So that is your reading for the day. I hope this resonated with you guys. If you did, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I love you guys so much. You guys could be anywhere else on the interwebs. You decided to be here, and that means so much to me. That is it for what makes you stand out and for what people see in you that you may not see in yourself. I hope you found something worthwhile. And until my next reading, take care of yourselves.